and check out all the artwork and all my Dungeons and Dragons stuff. And yes, very happy, very happy.
Check out that exhibit that's over there, that interactive.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did my Critical Role friends go through that?
I don't know, but they probably hopefully.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
Fan of hers.
Christy always asks me why I carry D20. I'm like, why don't you? You should always be armed. What are you doing?
Just have it now.
Of course. Do I have my D20? Of course I have my D20. Oh, 11, not
11,
bad.
perfect.
This is how I decide during our live podcast which side goes first.
Oh, really?
So yeah, of course, we're nerds. So yeah, it's one way to decide, and that's with a D20.
Absolutely.
So we made our big announcement today for the podcast, and that was really exciting. So we're just super stoked for today. We really are.
So, for people who haven't listened to the podcast yet, can you talk a little bit about it?
Sure. It's called I Hear Voices, and we interview voiceover actors and get their stories. But the most fun is we bring in an amateur voiceover actor, and we write a little scene, and they get to work with the professionals, and they get a chance to act it out. And we're going to take those scenes and have them animated, and then they get to be in their own cartoon. But the announcement we made today, which is amazing, is we have partnered with iHeart, and we are now conducting a nationwide search to find the next big voiceover actor. And the winner, there's going to be a number of prizes, but they're going to be flown to Los Angeles, and they're going to sign with my voiceover agency, CESD. And for 1 year, they're going to have professional representation, and they get to try their hand at being a professional voiceover actor.
That is so cool.
So, yeah, we're going to have hopefully a whole bunch of submissions of people that want to come in and do fun voices. So it's going to be great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What inspired you guys to start this podcast? Like, what was the moment that we should do this?
Conventions,
Yeah.
because it's true. Because at all the conventions that we did, people would come up to us and say, I want to be a voiceover actor. How can I become a voiceover actor? Or, hey, listen to my Ron Stoppable, listen to my Joker, and we looked at each other and went, we gotta find the next great one. We gotta interview all the voiceover actors and find out their stories. How did they get involved? How will that help the amateurs get involved? And so it just became about, let's go do this awesome thing. And yeah, that's really what it was. It was really talking to all the fans of the conventions, which we love doing. I got that from my dad. I just love people, so just talking to people is kind of my favorite thing in the world. So yeah, pretty excited to do that.
Awesome. For the cameras too, can you explain the similarities? Because that stigma that exists, there's always a separation of voice actors and on-camera actors.
Sure.
They're similar, right? Can you explain what those similarities are for those people?
Sure. Well, it's just, first of all, it's acting. So that's the first thing that you need to remember is everyone says like, oh, I can do funny voices. Okay, well, can you act? Because a lot of people can put on funny voices, but you have to be able to act. It's all about the craft of acting. You need to study acting. You need to study all types of acting, from Shakespearean. We just had Fred Tatasciore on stage as our guest, and he did a really funny soliloquy, but using his Shakespearean voice with Shakespearean quotes, but he's doing it in one of his funny voices. So it was a combination of all the different styles. Improv acting, hugely important. So it is all about acting. Then you can find your niche if you want to. I want to be a stage actor. I want to be a TV actor. I only wanted to be on a sitcom growing up until I really found animation, and then it was like, oh wow, voiceover is incredible. So when you can kind of find that your vibe, that's when you can blossom and grow. But it all starts with the craft of acting, which is something that it needs to be practiced. It needs to be worked on. It needs to be studied. It's not something that you just jump out there and you do it. It's something that a lot of people have the talent for it, but then you need to nurture that talent. You need other people to help you pull that talent out. You're going to find some good teachers, some bad teachers. You're going to find some things that are great with improv and things like that, and things that aren't going to work so well for you. But you got to continue with the craft, and then form it too. So that's the connection. Is just the craft of acting. Did you want to be a voiceover actor?
No. I like being behind the scenes.
Okay, fair enough. I always like to ask, is anybody like, I wanted to be one, you better enter the company.
Yes, I do.
Okay, well then come and put your reel together and come enter, because it's going to be great. You won't have to with this one. Maybe just put yourself on tape or figuring out all the good stuff, but go to its I Hear Voices podcast on Instagram, and that'll take you to voices@iheart.com, and you'll be able to enter and do all that kind of stuff. So
Okay, cool, thanks.
love it.
You had some really cool guests that were on the show. Was there anything that they said, like any guests said specifically that had like a light bulb go off, like, oh, I didn't even think about that? What are some like memorable things that they've said and shared?
They all do. They all say something that make you go like, oh, like our first episode ever, Eric Bowser sat there and taught us how to do the Bugs Bunny voice. So it's like, and the way he was saying, like, I can't really do it well, but he's like, all right, now go up here and your name, and he's like teaching us how to, and afterwards it's like, oh, I kind of get it. Like it's a muscle, and you got to use this, and so from that to just how often Fred Tatasciore, again, I could go to Fred just because it was the most recent interview, but Fred was telling us how he has to first warm up his voice and then cool down his voice, and then warm up his voice and cool down, just like a singer, or else he's going to shred his vocal cords. He was also talking about how some voiceover actors need 10 hours of sleep to recoup. It was like, where do you find 10 hours to sleep? But to recoup all their vocal props, so it's, he just kept, it's an instrument, you got to take care of your instrument. So yeah, you learn something from every different actor that you meet, especially because they all have different specialties. I mean, Tara Strong can do a young person's voice better than almost anybody I've ever heard. It's like her teaching us how to do that while still acting. I mean, that's the whole thing. So yeah, they all have the little tidbits of do this, and you pick it up the whole time. So yeah, it's great. You learn a lot from everybody.
In the series, some fans have speculated like who was friend zoning who. Was Ron friend-zoning Kim, or was Kim friend-zoning Ron? What's your opinion?
I honestly think it changed. I think at first, Kim was friend-zoning Ron, and then I think a little bit later, Ron was kind of friend-zoning Kim a little bit. And then they both looked at each other and were like, no, this is where it's supposed to be. I mean, my opinion, you always want to start in the friend zone. That's not an irrevocable place, and it's the place where you build the relationship, and then you take it to the next level. That's the point. You want to have that foundation, because that's what you want.
I do have one question.
Okay.
So my sister's in high school. That's her, and she is interested in doing voice acting. So, like, what kind of advice do you suggest, like, post high school to pursue that?
There is a show called I Hear Voices.
Right.
Okay. And you can join and become first of all, study acting. Just study acting while working on your voices. And so, okay, you asked a great question, like, what did you learn from some of the other people? So, one person we were talking to was Miley Flanagan, who was the voice of Naruto. So, she said, I listen to everybody that I meet, and anybody whose voice pops out in my head, I try to do. So you take, it's like, and then all of a sudden she'll go like, yeah, man, what's going on? Well, this is my person at my bank. Like my bank, hey, how much money do you want to take out of your bank? She's like, and then I'll go to the gas station, and the guy behind the gas station will talk very slowly. Like, she's like, every single person has a different voice. So listen to the people around you, and then try to translate that into a different voice that you would do. You do it in the mirror, however you want to do it. But acting, study acting, that's the most important thing. The voices will come, because that's just an instrument. I mean, you can make different sounds with a trumpet, but if you don't first learn to play the trumpet, they're just sounds. So you got to learn to act first, and then go from there. And then there's a show called I Hear Voices, and you can enter and maybe become the next big star. I'm just... Oh, jeez. I can't beat that. Again, she's the worst.
I'm going to throw back to, you said that working out your voice and like exercising your voice, cool downs, warm-ups. I just wanted to know, because a friend told me, who's a singer, she said one thing that she does is she takes a shot of vodka to open up the throat.
Okay. I don't know that one. Again, I've never heard that one. I'm not a singer though, so I don't know. I mean, maybe that like extends your vocal cord. It sounds like she just wants a shot of vodka, if I'm honest, to get on stage. But I don't know. I have never heard that one.
I just wanted to see what your opinion was.
Yeah, haven't heard that one at all. It's like, yeah, maybe it's the greatest thing in the world. Yeah.
Next episode of the podcast.
Yeah, everybody take a shot now. Yeah, no. Do not do that. Just for the record, do not do that. It is. No, we're fine. We'll be all right. It's family friendly with most of our guests. Some of the guests come on and are like beep, 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 beep.
The one
Jason Martin this morning, and we literally like, don't talk about, and then 2 seconds later, they're like, I called you a prick.
Yeah, that is my best friend there. Isn't that nice? My best friend since I was 17 years old, that guy. He's another one that's not a good person. He's all right. He's all right.
Your wife called. She says it's time to move to that. The
Your wife is sitting right there. She didn't call me. She's 5 feet away.
He always knows when I lie.
You can literally see her. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you.
I get a kick out of it all on the table. I don't know why that
They were
is.
great.